Welcome viewers back to Heart of the Machine, where we are working on building a filtration tower, and we had just finished encountering some doggos. And I'm just checking to see if there's anything else we have learned to build yet, but it doesn't look that way. Street sense, contemplations, nothing really new here. We do have 3 units still scrubbing their identities by taking out other androids, but we do have 2 tech units available for this turn. And now we want to build a filtration tower, so let's look at what's suggested here. We still have a scanner, and then 2 water filtration towers are suggested. These things are going to be rather big, I think, yeah. So let's not put them that close to our apartments down here, but maybe not too far away either. If there was some empty space up here we could dump them into, or maybe over here. Yeah, that looks like a nice spot. Let's drop it there. And we can already make a second one, so let's drop the second one as well. And we will use our remaining mental energy to try to get those online as soon as possible by sending in some techs to perform structural engineering and reduce the construction time. We'll take Tech 1 KK here, finish one and advance another one, so it should be done in 2 turns. We do have one more burst of mental energy we could use there. We are down a combat unit, so I think it might make more sense to spend our mental energy building a combat unit android. So let's do that, and we'll keep him back here at our central tower. That's the end of the turn. We have not much left to build except a scanner, but without extending our network range, it isn't really necessary to build another scanner. I suppose we could build one over here to keep an eye on our apartments. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that just for fun. We'll put it in this corner here so it's as far away from our main scanning region as possible. And we'll end the turn, moving on to turn 31. Securing water, project completed. That project came with 2 research inspirations. Also, all 3 of our droids, which were out busy murdering other androids, are done and ready to come home. Now for food, you got this. So that was the quest for water. And if we look at our resources, we now have a filtered water income of 10,000 a turn net, it looks like. And groundwater, we're bringing in 56,000 a turn. So this should go up to 20,000 a turn when we get that other filtration online. And I think we're good. We're also producing heavy metals as a side effect of filtration. This filtration building inputs 11,200 units of groundwater and outputs 10,000 units of filtered water and 1,800 units of heavy metals. Yuck, I'm glad we're filtering that stuff. Now for food. We want to secure food. Hunger is a critical problem for the lower classes. There has to be a better way to handle this, and just like with water, we have several options here. We can provide hydroponic greens, which gives us 1 procurement efficacy inspiration and 10 compassion points, or we could provide vat-grown meat, which gives us less compassion, but the same efficacy. We also, in this case for hydroponic greens, would get a bonus to our technicians to give them argument attack power of 50. And vat-grown meat would give ox droids, which are our combat droids right now. Remember, each droid has a subclass, and the combat unit's subclass is ox droid. Providing vat-grown meat would give them argument attack power, just so we could either give argument power to the technicians or to the ox droids. We could provide both. We could provide both hydroponic greens and vat-grown meat, in which case all of the rewards will stack, except that instead of 2 procurement efficiencies, we will get a small arms research inspiration. Optionally, we could provide canned protein. This is not any one meat precisely. It's a mix from the largest sources of protein in the city. To do this, build a drone factory and 2 canneries. They must be far from one another, so build at least 1 network relay. This alternative path will produce cruelty and creativity for us, give our combat androids an intimidation bonus, but only give us 1 procurement efficacy. So again, I'm going to choose the thing that gives us the most research options. And we're going to have to make both hydroponic greens and vat-grown meat. That started 2 investigations for us. 1, take samples from fields, and 1, take samples from a bovine carcass. I believe we can finish both of those in the same place. So let's take a look at investigations and see what that means. So all around the town, all around the city now, are these fields where we can go and try to steal some seeds or some samples. And or bovine carcasses. And it looks like we have a tech down here near this one. So what happens if we send a combat unit over there to look at it? The field looks relatively unguarded there. I still want to bring some backup just in case, but this technician should be perfectly capable of hopping in there and stealing samples from the fields, so we'll go do that. Immediately, we're set upon by both IP security forces and a military sniper for Tark Defense Systems. What's he doing here? Does Tark Defense Systems own this area? No. These are Galeri Expeditionary, so this Tark sniper, I'm not sure why he's there at all. Luckily, we have some backup at hand, so we can shoot the Tark. It does look like our best bet is to try to take out 1 more of these. But we're likely going to lose our sniper, our PMC infiltroid there. Alright, we got lucky and a 99% there was converted to 100. Unfortunately, he turned around and is now targeting our tech droid, so I think we may end up losing the tech droid. One thing we can try to do is use this microbuilder cloud. A microbuilder cloud uses 2,000 microbuilders and a mental energy. It targets androids with a 90 strength obscure cloud, gives the effect obscured by microbuilder cloud, and reduces incoming damage by 80%. So what happens if we throw up a microbuilder cloud on this guy? That should protect him. Unfortunately, he's still going to take enough damage to kill him even with that in place. So we're going to take 1 more shot at this. Hopefully we'll lower their damage output enough where he survives. Yes, now he's only going to take 82% damage, so he may survive that turn. Let's go ahead and end that turn there. There's nothing else we want to build. I don't think there's anything else going on, and we're out of mental energy. So let's end the turn and take a look at what happens in this combat. We do have to investigate for 2 more turns. There we go. Oh right, we had 2 researches to choose from, so we're going to pick the Android optimization one. It's going to take 2 turns to complete. So that guy did shoot at our droid, who is now down to 18% health. And we have still have 3 droids facing us, so we're going to have to take them out with this combat droid if we want to survive. And this PMC. The PMC doesn't have any that great of a shot. So I think we're going to just spend a whole bunch of actions on shooting these guys. PMC is doing just as much damage as the combat droid. So we almost got him. Unfortunately, still alive. And he's definitely going to kill that droid. Can we get this guy close enough to shoot? That is a good question. He could get down here and, with all 3 of our remaining mental energy, do just enough damage to take him out. So we will survive 1 more turn and bring another combat droid in close. Great, that's everything we can do. We don't really have anything else to build except possibly a network range extender. We're still going to skip that for now. Let's go ahead to turn 33. Turn 33 spawned in yet another military sniper focused on kicking out enemies. and a SecForce IP security from Tark Defense Systems. One more time, we're just going to shoot all of these guys with whoever does the most damage. Which at this point, it does look like we'll get a from behind bonus here. And we're doing slightly more damage with the combat droid. So we'll finish him off. And then this combat droid over here can take 3 shots, or hopefully only needs 2 to take out this military sniper. And our investigation was completed there. So what did that mean for us? We were trying to take samples from the fields. We didn't succeed, it looks like, because we have no hydroponic greens or vat-grown meat. So we're going to have to go and look for other opportunities. These droids are all marked defective again now, so I'm going to go ahead and send them to places where they can fix that. Before they do that, Tech X416 can repair, but it says it's going to take 4 mental energy, which is a bit surprising. I didn't think it would take that much. So instead, I could spend 2 turns hiding and self-repairing. That is also a lot of time. But look at this. We have Android and Android optimization research. We can get faster droids, more cognition for our tech droids, faster combat, faster tech, or combat android intimidation. I think it makes sense to make our port droids better at cognition, just because we don't have a good access to a high stat there. And we'll start another android optimization. Unfortunately, I was hoping that would save time, but it doesn't seem to have really saved anything. So we're going to look at this again. I suppose it doesn't matter if our droid is... If our droid is marked defective, since people are going to shoot him anyway. Let's see if we can move over there and get some line of sight on this. Let's actually move all of our units in that direction, and hopefully they'll be there to help next turn when we move in. Alright, nobody's really close enough to see, so I guess we'll move the tech droid a little bit closer. And next turn we'll send him in to do some more investigation. There's still nothing to build this turn, so let's wait till this investigation completes next turn to see what happens. Turn 34. So we know that as soon as we move in here, I think it even tells us, right, as soon as we move, this is an invasive action that will attract enemies regardless of your unit's security clearance. Plus, we saw by that yellow arrow pointing at us that there is a local security force here who is going to attack us also. So we're going to send him here. That's going to generate some enemies. So before we do that, let's bring the combat droids in a bit closer, maybe up on top of a building. Might be too far away. Bringing these combat droids closer will allow them to assist in attacks. We have 5 moves left. I don't really want to bring them in. I don't really want to start the investigation without our full action complement, just in case we end up needing a lot of moves. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and before I end the turn, since we do have moves left, I'm going to look for contemplations. Still, the 3 black market ones are the only ones available, and they will require wealth, so we're not doing those yet. And in street sense, I do see an opportunity to hide and self-repair. One thing I could attempt to do is have this guy heal himself, but no, he does need 4 mental energy for that. So we'll skip that. We're not going to do anything this turn, we're just going to pass to turn 35. And now we're going to begin this turn in investigation and investigate these fields here. That triggered defenses immediately again. Luckily, our combat units are in position this time. But we don't really have a lot of damage capability, it looks like. So we got a 40% damage there and a 53 here. That's probably our best bet for shooting at the Sec Force. His second shot is not going to kill. And these two both turned to look at him. So he'll use his second shot here to take out the sniper. And maybe he'll hold his third shot off while this guy can now get an attack from behind because this guy turned away to look at the tech target. And this guy turned toward us. Now we're attacking his front, but maybe this guy gets a bonus? No. So we do have one more move here. We'll fire that one. And then we have one more move here. We can fire that one. And then one more kills him. Right, the PMC didn't have to do anything that turn. And we do have an android optimization ready. Also, 2 more turns until we complete this investigation. Let's take a look at the android optimization. Faster port droids, hardened dynadroids. Dynadroids are nickelbots. We aren't using them very much, but that would give them more health. That's interesting. Faster octroids or more port droid cognition. I'm not against the idea of just bumping up our stats. Faster's nice, but generally just spending another turn to get your droids closer seems to be working for us, so we'll go for more cognition here. Check our builds. Still nothing that we're allowed to build yet, and no new contemplations, so we're gonna go ahead and finish that turn. Alright, 4 enemy attacks planned this turn. One more turn to investigate. That means there's 4 enemies here. Unfortunately, a new Sec Force patrol joined us. This might be harder to take out all of these. Here is an attack from behind for 74%. We'll do that one first. This one is a guaranteed kill, so we'll do that. And now we do have a third shot here we can take to kill this one who turned around again. Alright, this combat droid's out of action. Let's check the other combat droid. This is an 88% damage shot. That's pretty good. Let's do that first. And our second shot will kill him. And we'll spend our third shot on the Sec Force IP security. It's not a very good attack, but better than nothing. That means our PMC droid has to step in with his actions to finish the job. We have one more turn of investigation, and we do have an idea ready. Our procurement efficiency inspiration to finish researching. So with this one we can gain better water filters, better slurry spiders, better wind turbines, or better wells. Now, wind turbines seems like the logical choice to me because that's a huge electricity generation bonus of 50%, and it does look like we will eventually get limited by electricity generation, so I'm going to go for that one. And that immediately brought our surplus electricity up to a very high number. Checking our building situation again, still nothing to do there. We could start other actions, but there's no real urgency on anything right now, so let's go ahead and skip the turn and wait for this investigation to complete. We need to get one more ambush from 2 groups of 4 and 3 military snipers. It looks like if we crossfire here, we're going to do more damage. What about this guy? What about the PMC? The PMC doesn't do very much damage to either, so I think we'll start here with combat droid shooting this guy twice and this guy once. And then this other combat droid should be able to take him out. Great. And that was our second investigation. We also, through that investigation, readied the idea of Motionless Warrior, Unspeakable Composting, Veggie Forest, and Variegated Seed Harvesting is now available. So let's take a look at what that last one means. I'm not sure if I can. Let me see. Variegated Seed Harvesting. You now know how to get mixed cultivars of seeds for your hydroponic greens. Great, that's pretty straightforward. We also can make a hydroponic tower and a biomulcher. Not to mention, Motionless Warrior is new equipment that's designed to turn our Nickelbots into snipers. We may have to take a look at that. So we finished to take samples from Fields Investigation. We still have one investigation to finish, which is called... what? Well, I don't know what the investigation is called, but it's for stealing cattle. We want to steal meat to grow also, so we're going to have to go and take some tissue samples from the cows. Luckily, it's right here, so we can start that right away, but I'm not going to start it this turn because we don't have enough mental energy to support combat if we do get attacked. I am going to move our troops a little closer, though. I don't want them to be in a high clearance zone, so let's make sure they're safe and make sure all of their circles overlap in an area that lets us shoot. Might make sense to have somebody over on this side, so let's move him here. And that seems pretty reasonable. 3 moves left. Nothing else to build. Nothing else to do. Let's go ahead and end the turn there. Wait, don't we have more things to build? Let's take a look. We do have other things. Nope, still nothing. Okay, never mind. I guess we're not going to unlock new buildings until we finish these. Alright, so when we did get the seed samples, we unlocked Motionless Warrior simultaneously, so that confused me. We do have to pick a research. We can pick Veggie Forest, Unspeakable Composting, or Motionless Warrior. Let's start with Unspeakable Composting, because if I look at Veggie Forest, Hydroponic Tower takes an expense of biomulch and filtered water and vegetable seeds, whereas Unspeakable Composting produces biomulch and has no other expenses except for electricity. This deploys mechanical crabs to compost plants, rodents, and insects from the environment. Oh, good. Whereas this is just a veggie forest with no description. Interesting. We'll pick Unspeakable Composting first, just because it's a prerequisite for getting the hydroponic growing. Next turn, we will continue on our investigations. Alright, this investigation is ready to start, so we're going to jump into this little barn here. And again, we're going to be assaulted for 3 turns by SecForce IP security. We're getting the hang of this. These guys don't have much to worry us with. We do get a behind bonus there. This guy should get a behind bonus there, but not there. Okay, so we'll fire this. Take him out. This guy turned around, which should get a behind bonus here. Yep. And 3 more turns. We can now make the biomulcher because our research was completed. We invented unspeakable composting. We're also going to start the research for veggie forest next. But let's take a look at biomulchers. Biomulchers use 8 centimeter crabs. We can make 3 of these. Luckily, it's recommended we make 3, and they require very little electricity. So let's go put some biomulchers over in this direction near the homes that we built. We can stick these sort of out of the way so that they don't interfere with things. There's a good spot there. Stack them pretty tightly. Biomulchers don't take any time to produce, so we will immediately begin outputting 3,000 biomulch per turn, which should be enough to satisfy the needs of the veggie forest. The veggie forest is going to need 700 per turn, so yeah, one of those would more than satisfy one hydroponic tower's needs. Investigation progress is 3 turns to go. Let's take a look at if there's anything else that we want to do this turn. Street sense wise, yeah, we do want to repair that tech, but we can't right now. And we want to check contemplations. There's nothing new. So let's go ahead and end the turn here, turn 39. We were assaulted by 3 SecForce IP securities trying to protect their cattle's DNA from us. They are all facing away from the PMC here, so he's going to be able to get nice and easy shot on this one that's close. Not sure why this guy takes less or more damage. I wonder if we can puzzle that out. So this one takes 412 damage. This one takes 402 damage. This is a squad of 15 versus a squad of 8, so that's probably why right there. It's just roughly the same amount of damage, but there's fewer of them, so they're going to die. Take our second shot from this side. 35 as our best percentage there. I think that was the same as what he had, so yeah, close enough. He's going to shoot 2 more shots into this guy, and that should allow you to finish and put 2 of your shots into this guy. And that took care of everybody. 2 more turns. We did complete Veggie Forest, so we should be able to build a hydroponic tower this turn. In fact, there it is. Let's go and drop a hydroponic tower somewhere over here, probably near these other towers that we're using to produce stuff for the humans. Hydroponic tower wants 4 turns. We have 3 more actions this turn, so we can use Tech 4000 here to speed that along, and that should be done next turn. Let's take a look at our investigation. We need 2 more turns here. Let's do 1. We attracted 2 more Sec Force. The standard response, it appears to be. We'll take 1 out there. This guy turned foolishly, so he's also easily dispatched. That leaves us 1 more. Take a look at Tech 4000 in the standing on the roof of a barn with some massive looming mechs in the distance there. Investigate for 1 more turn. Nothing really that we need to build anymore. I think we'll hold where we are for building, and we'll let this turn pass. Bovine replication is, we collected some small bovine tissue samples. We now know humane methods to take small tissue samples from living cattle. We readied an idea of bovine replication, which will take us 1 turn to research, and we invented Motionless Warrior. Motionless Warrior is hardware for our Nickelbot. So if we take a look at Nickelbot, we had them equipped with this light shotgun, 70 power plus 4 range, but we can also give them the AN-14 Achilles now, which is less power, more range, but gives them the Achilles perk. This unit gets spatial bonuses regardless of their position relative to enemy targets. So in other words, even if they're in front of you, they'll get a bonus from shooting you from behind, is what that means. So let's go ahead and do that. That might make using them as a sniper a good idea. Slightly less combat power, but still a range bonus. And then if we change this up to optical processing priority, now they'll have a 16 bonus range. So it might make sense to have a few Nickelbots scattered around in order to support us as snipers from a distance. Unfortunately, we don't have the Android capacity to support that yet, but we might someday. Alright, back on the ground. We have 2 Sec Force IP security units to take care of. So we're going to have this PMC droid shoot them in the back. This one first. He goes down, no problem. This one second. Takes half the team out. There's 5 left. There's a lot of little ships floating around looking at us. Unit P486 is the current target of that IP, so he's going to take a shot and destroy. And that is the end of that. The investigation is complete. We are well on our way to securing food because we've finished all of the hydroponic greens. Our requirement was 5,000 per turn, and we're making 8,800 per turn. We just need to make vat-grown meat. So let's take a look at our building options and see what we can do now while we wait. And the answer is nothing. So we're going to have to wait 1 more turn. While we're waiting, we might as well start disposing of these droids' terrible identities. Instead of that, let's actually do a heal here. Right now we're at 18% health. If we use 4 mental energy to heal, that completely heals the droid and anything in the circle around him. There's nothing else damaged. It's fine. And then turning on Street Sense we should be able to send this droid to go get their registration renewed. That's all of our mental energy, so we will advance to turn 42. Turn 42, we now have a protein vat and bovine replication available. Those are both buildings. Bovine replicator, it wants us to make 9 of these. These take in biomulch and produce bovine tissue. They also use a little bit of bovine tissue, which is why we had to collect it in the first place. And then protein vat will take the bovine tissue and turn it into vat-grown meat. So we definitely want to start with bovine replicators so we don't run out of tissue. We'll make 9 of those, and we're going to stick them, we'll stick them over near the apartments, but probably not right outside so these people don't have to see their cows getting grown in tanks. And we'll make 9 of those. We also want to make 2 protein vats. Protein vats take about the same amount of space, so we'll put one there. Not sure if I can fit another one in here. Oh, I can. I'll stick it there. Great. So once those come online, I think they'll take a turn or 2. Looks like 3 turns for the protein vats and 2 turns for the biomulchers. Let's send some techs over to work on those protein vats. Just to get them all completing at the same time. And maybe work on one of these bovine replicators so they complete earlier, just to make sure we don't run out of tissue before these come online. Okay, so we're still a couple turns away from getting our meat production facility online, but that's where it will be. We have 3 more moves to make. We'll send these droids here off to have their identity scrubbed. Hopefully they can all do that. Nope, can't quite reach, so this guy will just head north. Head as close as he can get to this one. And that's everything we can do. Let's go to turn 43. Turn 43, we're still 50% away from securing food. Finding my buildings here. It looks like most of the replicators are coming online. Let's send that PMC to have his... Ooh, what is this? Now that you're aware of them, you've started noticing them everywhere. Can we send somebody to talk to this feral dachshund pack? Let's try. Cannot rescue target feral dachshund pack. You don't know how to rescue this kind of target yet. Are there any contemplations that might be relevant? Are there? Not yet. Okay. So PMC here is going to go get his identity scrubbed. It looks like we need to turn on street sense. It looks like there's one here. And who else do we have that needs that? All combat units are already doing it. And Tech X416 is already finished with everything he needed to do. So I think we're good. Let's just work on accelerating these. So let's bring you in. And we'll start turning these on. And everything should be online next turn. Let's do it. Next turn. 44, securing food complete. Next thing it wants us to do is Grand Theft Arrow, and 2 of our 3 androids who were murdering for registration are complete. Grand Theft Arrow says you've been probing the flying delivering craft for exploits for a while, and one just pinged. Using Street Sense, you can commandeer a delivery craft of your own. What's it good for? Street Sense is enabled here. Let's take a look at Street Sense. There are now these icons here. Steal vehicle. If we go look at that, there's nobody in range. Maybe there is. There's nobody in visual range, but we do have someone who can do that steal in 1 turn. So let's go ahead and do that. It looks exactly like an android steal. And boom, Grand Theft Arrow complete. And we now have the TYS Lion. We also unlocked a whole bunch of things. A vehicular security patch, Scavenger's Eye, Scandium, Engine Drill, Drone Factory, Drone Command Circuit, and Weaponized Flight. Weaponized Flight is a research that will enable us to build the cutter. Drone Command Circuit is another idea. Is that another research idea? No, but Weaponized Flight is. Drone Command Circuit is... It looks like this just increases or improves drones in general. Oh, it's an equipment for... This is equipment for vehicles. So if I look at this vehicle we unlocked... Nope. There's no equipment possible. So it's equipment for other vehicles, but not this one. Interesting. So we can now build a drone factory. Drone factories build drones, obviously, and use avionics cores, internal robotics. We can make an engine drill, which is a consumable item that vehicles can use to disrupt the mobility of other vehicles. Which requires what? Drones. Go figure. We can make Scandium, World Experience... Scandium, silvery white rare earth metal. We can acquire, because it's found locally in thortvitite, it's available worldwide in various rare earth deposits, can be acquired from enemy military troop transports, can also be bought at warehouse shops if you have a shell company. Due to the stresses of anti-grav fields, scandium must be combined with aluminum in order to form modern airframes. We also learned Scavenger's Eye. Scavenger's Eye, Major Mechanic. A new view has been added to our radial menu. You can now see buildings or units that have scavengeable resources. So we did get a new filter to our radial menu down here. It looks like hopefully the final one. Scavenging. So if we look at the map, when scavenging is enabled, we do now see military troop carriers with scavengeable scandium on them. Vehicular security patch says, well, that's not good. The response to your hacking was much faster this time. Seriously, you steal one delivery craft and they're locking the whole thing down? Flying is fun. It's time to build your own vehicle factory. Somehow. Maybe an idea will occur to you. If we look at our buildables now, we now have the ability to build a delivery craft. Delivery craft are good at blending in. They are incredibly weak aircraft that have 3 passenger seats. So the advantage of this is we can take any unit and we can load them into the passenger vehicle. You want to do that in a single mental energy point if possible. And then the vehicle itself can move in an enormous radius. And the move takes 1 mental energy and 1 action point. So it's very cheap to move these guys far. We'll move the delivery vehicle here, load him with another robot, and then we'll go hang out. We'll have it hang out near where the PMC is going to finish up next turn. It shows here that those 2 combat units are now aboard the TYS Lion. We also have the ability to make 5 more of these. The game wants us to make something of our own design, build a cutter, and it wants us to acquire scandium next. Scandium, we have to scrap scandium out of some military troop carriers. So that sounds like we also want to pick research. So let's start the cutter research. That sounds like the focus of the next episode should probably be on scandium acquisition and building a cutter aircraft. So I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please consider pressing the like button on the video, subscribing to the channel, and why not consider leaving me a comment to tell me your thoughts on this game, my playthrough of it, give me some tips or advice, or just tell me how you're feeling. I hope to see you next time. This has been Corknut playing Heart of the Machine. Bye for now.